Megyn Kelly is the queen of common sense, and Meghan Markle will never be a queen of anything. Fine by me.
I really think Miss Duchess couldn't stomach the thought of getting booed. She couldn't stand the thought of returning to England and having the cameras go on her and having everyone do what I will be doing at home, which is boo, boo, boo. He's going to get booed. Mark my words. Harry's getting booed 100%. But he's at least the son. He kind of has to do it. She was like, it's little Archie's birthday. I've got my excuse. There's going to be all sorts of buzz about me, but I don't have to face the boos. But I've got news for her. We're booing loudly from our couches, whether she can hear us or not. That's what she should be really worried about.
Now, about Bud Light, some people inside the company, not at management level, are trying to tell them, for God's sake, knock it off. Stop this stuff. Never forget who really buys the product, who's always bought the product, who always will buy the product. Fine, try and find new markets, but stop pissing on the existing one.
So Bud Light has just made error after error in handling this whole debacle. The CEO on Friday came out with a statement that it was basically military, first responders, America, horses, service, love of country, cowboys. I mean, it was every patriotic buzzword you could ask for. If we were playing a drinking game, we'd be hammered every time we had to drink at a patriotic reference. That was his whole strategy. The words that were missing from his apology were, I'm sorry. I screwed up. The head of marketing who approved this campaign, or somebody under her did, is fired. That would be a start. And so it's not going to work. He's ruined his brand's reputation. Someone does need to get fired. And this is a watershed moment in the pushback against wokeism. It's about, yes, putting Dylan Mulvaney in a Bud Light can. And it's about misjudging your audience and thinking you're above them, as Bud Light did. Saying they're too fratty. We've gotten too fratty. The woman who's drinking her beer out of condoms in her college pictures, she's going to judge who's too fratty. But it's more about, on a larger level, the pushback against wokeism infecting every area of our lives. Why can't you just drink a beer without thinking about the trans issue, right? They put out this ad, Bud Light did, of these two cowboys standing on the porch in middle America with the horses rearing there, and they've got like the beards and like the, they look like these are real mountain men. And I was saying on my show, if Dylan Mulvaney walked out on that porch, they'd be like, what the is that? Who the hell are you? Like, you try to understand who you're appealing to and who you got to let go. And if you're a Bud Light, you are trying to appeal to those men in middle America, and the Dylan Mulvaneys of the world can drink their apple teenies out in the Hamptons. That's how life works. You can't have it all. So Bud Light's still doing cleanup and not very well.
Yeah. And my advice to Kevin Costner and all the members of the Yellowstone cast who will be offered $5 million to appear in the next Super Bowl ad to reconnect with those people, ask for 7. Expect 9. Take $10 million because they need you more than you're going to need them the other way around. I can't wait to see the way they're going to try to sort of advertise their way out of it. Remember when Gillette did that Super Bowl ad, which was about, the redefining of masculinity? Sales went through the toilet and surprise, surprise, guess what came back the next year? Man, manly men, manly, 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 manliness.
It's so true, but it's too late for that. I mean, I think the reason Oil of Olay has gotten away with partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, and Tampax sent Dylan Mulvaney a bunch of free boxes of tampons. Come on. Hello. I think the reason they've gotten away with it is because women, for the most part, just says like, okay, I can't. I'm not going to take this on. I got enough to worry about. I got my job. I got my kids. This is going to have to be somebody else's fight. But men love their beer, and men love to talk politics, and men love to fight. And so Bud Light was the wrong company with the wrong sponsor at the wrong time, and that's been to the benefit of us all.
Now, Trump versus DeSantis. I think we saw something this week that tells us Ron DeSantis won't get into the presidential campaign, because if he did, he would lose a general election. Now, I like Ron DeSantis. I think he's one of the best people who could end up going up against Joe Biden. But when he signed that 6-week abortion law, that might work for certain parts of Florida, but it doesn't work in the parts of the country that he needs to win that Trump won in 2016. So what do you think? I just think DeSantis knows this is Trump's, so let him have it. Rule Florida for 4 years. remain popular enough that at the end of his term he can go into the Senate, and then 2 years later he can eventually run for president.
I mean, it's going to hurt him then too. That's not something that they're going to forget. You signed a 6-week abortion ban. I mean, the average person in America is in favor of 12 to 15. So Ron DeSantis should have been working the Florida legislature beforehand, saying we can't do 6. 6 is a bridge too far. It doesn't even have majority support in Florida, though it had legislative support, of course. So let's do 12. Like, why do we need to do the 6? It's got an exception for rape and incest, but you have to prove that you were the victim of rape. Okay. I mean, what are we going to put these women through? So politically, I do think that was a rare misstep for Ron DeSantis, if he really does have his eyes on the presidency. And even in Florida, it doesn't have majority support. Now, I don't think he's giving up the race. I do think he's still going to run. I think he has very good reason to worry that if he doesn't throw his hat in now, he's going to wind up being Chris Christie, who we all wanted to run back in 2012. He wouldn't do it, and he missed his moment. He went crashing down. And then he wound up publishing a book that sold 400 copies. 400 copies. Okay, so nobody wants to become a Chris Christie politically. So I think DeSantis will run. And right now it's starting to get kind of awkward and interesting between DeSantis and Trump. Trump put out this ad showing somebody eating pudding with their fingers. There was a report that DeSantis allegedly did that. He denied it, but Trump's running with it and just showing him with his hand in the pudding jar, saying he's going to take your Social Security, he's going to take your Medicare, and he's going to eat pudding with his fingers, and it's disgusting.